Thanks for joining us for the Member xCite presentation. The Member xCite presentation is informative, interesting to the audience, and showcases the strengths of the presenter as an entrepreneur and their area of expertise. It's not a sales pitch, it's a 10-minute educational and insightful exploration into what they do. And of course, it's exciting.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our xCite presenter today, Mathew Walker from Raw Profits, to present to us on simple SEO tips for immediate change to get more leads and jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mathew Walker.
So obviously I'm here today to talk about some small business SEO tips and some tools that you can take away and actually execute yourself if you have a website and you're looking to improve your search engine ranking, or at least visibility on Google and Bing. And I'd like to thank everyone for making a great choice for actually taking the time to listen to my talk. And before we get underway, I've got a little exercise I wanted to play, because obviously this is all about learning and listening. So if everyone can place their, hold their arm out to the right side and just give it a bit of a shake. If you could just play along with the activity. And then we'll do that for about 15 seconds. And then we'll just bring that into that side. And if everyone could just touch their chin. So I noticed not everyone touched their chin, they copied me, I didn't. And the whole point about that exercise was, it's something I did the first time when I actually heard that. I actually did touch my cheek and not my chin. And it just goes to show, I want everyone to remember this talk about SEO, and hopefully that reminds you to pay attention to what I'm saying. So it was just a little activity to get things going. So thank you, everyone. So what I'll do is, so for anyone that doesn't know, search engine optimization, it's basically a way to be found on the web through organic search, so not paid search. And to give you an idea, there was a report done by Systrix in the States, and they analysed millions and millions and millions of websites. And it turns out that number one spot in Google to be on the top page of number one position is 28%. So that means when your ad appears for free in organic search, it's 28% likely that you're going to get a click. And all the way down to number two, it's 2.5%. Can you believe it that your Google ads, the average industry standard is actually 2.5% and you're paying for that? So the click-through rate for an actual ad is 2.5, whereas the top three are in the range of 75%. So it ranges from 28 for position one, 15% approximately for position two, and about 11%. So in other words, you're going to get a click-through from those top three. Gives you an idea why so many businesses invest so much in this space. And I always like to say to the small businesses that are interested, if you can create a strategy around SEO and be successful, you can blow your competitors out of the water with Google Ads, because you can reinvest that money that you've made, or the sales from the organic search, back into your ads, and they won't be able to bid up at your level because you're so successful with your organic search. So it's a good opportunity to focus on both. I always say ads, advertising, media, and Google and search engine optimization, they complement each other. So we should be focused on everything. So what I'll do, I'll talk today about 5 tips, and I'm probably going to have to go quick because I could just talk on and on about it. But basically, at the very end, I'll have some information around more about this actual talk, and I've got a special offer for people that are interested to learn more about it. But basically, I've got 5 tools and 5 tips for small businesses, and they can execute these pretty easy. And I suggest if you just do one of them, not all of them, you're going to see success, or at least you're going to see results in 2022. So the first one is Google Analytics and Google Search Console. Everyone should have one of those. If you don't, you want to go and install a certain code onto your website and have Google Analytics as one of your dashboards, and Google Search Console. I see the two as Analytics more around your metrics of dollars, sales, and your Google and your Search Console more around your keywords and your organic traffic. So that's those two, and they're both free from Google. If you don't want to use, if you're not too interested in sharing your data with Google, you can install analytics software like Plausible, Mantomo, Clicky.com, and Mixpanel.com. They're all paid software, but they do something similar to Google Analytics, but it's private, so all your data is not shared. And that moves me on to the next tip. So probably one of the most important tips, and I'll put this in order, so in order of where I think you should be starting, is keywords. So if we're focusing on an SEO strategy, we want to make sure we're focusing on the right keywords, and there's 4 steps really. The first step is to look at impressions, so how much traffic, and it's obviously a metric. And the second metric is actually how much direct traffic you're getting from those impressions that are showing. Not everyone, just because there's 5,000 people searching, you're not necessarily going to get all that traffic. The third step would be to actually have what you call is what business potential does it have? For example, a hairdresser. If you're a hairdresser, there might be I would grade them for 1 to 4. So 1 would be the most successful in regards to me taking a sale. Hairdresser might be, if someone was searching for book hairdresser near me, I would say that, and there was search volume, that would be $3 signs for me. And then if someone was searching for, say, about hairdressers, that might be $2 signs. And then number 1 would be how to cut hair, that might be $1 sign. And then something about hairdresser movies, that'd be 0. No, you're not going to want to chase keywords for a hairdresser studio. So you would basically grade the potential for your business. So there's a bit of manual strategy and thinking whether or not that would be a fit for your business. The third is to look at Google Ads and how much they pay for clicks. So if they're expensive, people are paying a lot of money, it generally means they must be generating sales for that particular organisation. So they might be paying $20 a click. You wouldn't pay $20 a click just to get keywords and no sales. So there's a return there. The third step is you want to make sure that you're optimizing your content and your old content. So go back to the past, look at all your content, re-optimize it, check all you've got the correct title tags, the meta descriptions, and even change the date of the post. So it might have been 2020, 2021, rechange it from 2020, so I'm now talking 2022. So the post that I'll talk about at the end, I might have had it last year, it was 2021, it's now going to be 2022, if I had a post like this talk today. So that's really important, it's going back and checking on your actual content and updating the dates. Then there's website auditors. These are pretty easy. So they basically automatically audit your website. And the best tools, I would say, for a small business, you can. There's one called Uber Suggest by Neil Patel, and it's dirt cheap, and it does a lot. And then there's something like I use. It's SEO ranking, which is per month. You pay per month and so forth. But it's an all-in-one software, and it's quite complex in regards to website auditing. And the best part of that, when they send you an email, they say if you've got duplicate content or whatever it be, there's an error here, error there, you can fix them up. You don't need to go and rerun those tests. But there's 3 options as well. So you can have audits if you don't want to go and get paid. You've got Google Page Insights, which is really just about the performance. And then you've got Web Dev, which is more about how fast your website is and so forth. And then you've also got GT Metrics, which is another one where you can test your audit website, and it's free. And there's finally there's one called Pingdom. I think it's tool.pingdom. And basically that is another tool where you can analyze your website and do what you will with the information. Obviously Google's how fast your website is a ranking factor with regards to how your website will display. But probably the most important tip or tools I'm going to share today, and they're my favourite, and Dennis, you might like this one, it's AI. And I use probably 2 of the best AI tools, and one of them is around optimization of content, and one of them actually writes content. I've done a 3,700 word blog, so if you go to raw.com.au, you'll actually see this entire talk, and there's a lot more tips and tools which I put into that blog, and you'll see I actually use for AI content writing Closers Copy, so it's CLOSERS COPY.com, And if you're lucky, you'll get an unlimited license and you won't have to pay monthly fees. If you're not using these sorts of tools and you're a small business for content writing, you're going to struggle to actually rank in the future for SEO. And the reason for that is they won't be writing 600 to 800 word blogs, they'll be writing 3,000 plus because it is that easy to write. I have an example in the blog. So if you look at our website, I actually spat out exactly what it spat out with really just a few 4 or 5 keywords, and then you can see how I edited it. And it just goes to show how super quick it is. The other one is Jarvis.ai, which is probably one of the best. And it's another content platform where you pay about $99 and you can produce unlimited content with that one. So they're my favorite tools with regards to optimization. So I use surferseo.com, and Surfer SEO, basically what happens is I've created the content in closest copy. I grab that content and dump it into Surfer SEO, and it will tell me my top 5 competitors and where I need to be to actually rank amongst those top 5 competitors. And it's got like a little needle where it's got red down to green. And I know I just stop typing and it tells you which keywords and what your head keywords are. So it takes all the guesswork out of it. If you were to take away any tip in wanting to execute anything, I would say focus on any one of those 2 tools. So either the optimization or writing of content if you do that for your own small business. The other one with optimization tool is Phrase. It's FRASE.io as well. That's another one, and that is similar to Surfer SEO. They're not cheap, but they're worth it. They just take all the guesswork out of SEO. I think that's about it. I hope everyone has enjoyed the talk, and if you don't, if there's a lot that you have remembered, don't worry, because I have created a 3,500 word blog, and it has a lot more information on the website, and there's a few offers there for people that are interested. But again, if all you do is just take away and implement either Google Analytics, Search Console, going back to optimizing your content, that's actually pretty quick because you've been indexed. And I'll give you a pro tip: submit that updated content through the Search Console, and then Google, if you're lucky, fingers crossed, it'll search your website. So on that spot, and you can sometimes see in 2 weeks a change in your ranking. So it's probably better to go back and re-optimize old content.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Any questions?